Four ordinary guys with extraordinary ideas for Disney parks. This is Main Street Musings, the experimental podcast of tomorrow.
That's right. Welcome back to Main Street Musings, the experimental podcast of tomorrow. My name is Jake. Joining me today, welcome to the world of tomorrow, Eric.
What up?
He'll orbit your Astro, Tanner.
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
And the Monsters Inc. laugh floor for some reason, Brock. That's right. If you couldn't figure it out, today we are talking about Tomorrowland at Disney Parks, Disney's Magic Kingdom, Disneyland, Tomorrowland. And we specifically will be pitching dark rides for Tomorrowland. Boys, how are you feeling today?
Great.
Significantly better than when we last recorded.
You sound significantly better than when we last recorded.
Debatable.
So
he was
plus.
pretty quiet last episode, and that part was nice.
Yeah. I'm sure the audience is upset that I will not be probably as quiet.
You got to make up for last time, so you're going to be doubling down.
Yeah, my idea is really doubling down on the fact that, like, I couldn't
can talk
really
again?
that I can talk again.
And we have to listen.
Nice.
Brock, how are you?
How about you, Brock? How are you feeling?
I am prepared to travel to the future. I've gotten my Elon Musk boots on, and I'm going to do some crazy science and tell people to buy
Elon Musk
Dogecoin.
tanked Bitcoin today again. What a jerk.
Doesn't surprise me. What a lunatic of a man.
Imagine that power. He's just like, well, also, let's be fair, that speaks to the maybe the volatile nature of digital currency, that Elon Musk can just be like, we're breaking up, and then it becomes worthless. Like, literally worthless.
Yeah.
So maybe don't
I would
invest
just like
in
to
Bitcoin.
point out,
I don't know.
on paper, everything about the man screams Bond villain.
Have you seen his mother?
Except
I
he's too
swear-
Oh,
dead.
yes, I have.
I swear Elon and his mother, May Musk, are going to take over the world. Like, he's just building a death laser to please his mother somewhere on some remote island.
I, for one, welcome our death laser.
And on that note, let's start talking about some Disney rides. Who is pitching first today?
Oh, hey, that's me. I get to roll the D4 again. Nice.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome back.
Oh, the power! Also, we're breaking up with Bitcoin, so that's probably why we're exercising our power as content creators to also tank Bitcoin. Let's go with...
Do you guys remember last week when he couldn't talk?
Yeah.
God. What a nightmare that
Eric
must have been
Hand,
for you
the
guys.
real death laser.
All right, the fates have spoken, and it is Brock Rudolph Gabbert.
Alrighty. So I try to look at some futuristic, less represented Disney properties, and the first thing that came to my mind, and I think the most obvious thing for me, is to make a Treasure Planet Dark Ride. So I think Treasure Planet's perfect. I think its design, the movie's great, but it's perfect for a Tomorrowland ride. I think its design elements are phenomenal. So I think that would be really fun to be immersed in that universe. This ride would take us on one of the longboat lifeboats from the ship. It's sort of like a small sailing spaceship. Through the cosmos, we would experience cosmic beauty, and then we would also be flying through a lot of the major events of the film alongside Jim and Delbert and Captain Amelia as they go on their crazy adventure. We'd encounter pirates. We'd end up on the treasure planet itself. We'd escape it as it tried to explode. And I have a lot more details I'd like to go in, but generally that is my pitch.
Cool. All right, next up is Tanner.
All right. For my pitch, we will be discussing an Incredibles Dark Ride. All right, so join Designer to the supers, Edna Mode on a tour of her new state-of-the-art design testing facility. Guests will board hover discs on a tour hosted by Edna herself, where she will take guests through multiple rooms testing out different requirements of a supersuit, including a wind tunnel explaining why she doesn't use capes anymore, cold and heat-resistant rooms, and a room testing force fields and invisibility, and many more things. The tour goes awry when an explosion sends us off track to the special test rooms designated for Jack and his ever-developing powers. See you there.
Nice.
That's cool.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah.
I'm up next. So, mine is a metaphor for climate change.
What a shock.
Not really a metaphor,
Good God.
but it's designed sort of around it. So my dark ride is the Toontown of Tomorrow. And we start off on like hover versions of those Toontown cars, you know, the very rounded sort of jalopy style vehicles that they have, particularly in Disney's Toontown. And we're hovering around a being built futuristic version of Toontown, very industrial, very mechanical, so it's kind of going up and up and up, and we're like going through factories and we're going through the streets and seeing this industrial city being built, and then eventually we realize we have unleashed this monster from underneath the ground, and we have to combat it, sort of, or at least run away from it. And then we defeat it. I'm clear on how that works yet. We can figure that out if we talk about it. And then sort of we come through into this new, more green energy kind of feel Toontown as it's starting to be built up. That's my idea.
Okay. Neat.
Cool.
That leaves us with Jake.
That leaves us with me. All right, so for my idea, I have decided to go IP-less.
Nice.
No IP for my idea. I'm trying to do an original story. So my idea is that you're walking through Tomorrowland and you come upon what looks kind of like a real estate office. And you go inside, and it is a company that is selling timeshares on the moon. That's right. It is the Estates in Orbit timeshares on the moon. And part of your pre-show is they're explaining these timeshares to you and trying to sell you on a timeshare on the moon, like timeshare offices do. And you will be transported to the moon to take a tour of the facility, where you will board your futuristic golf cart type vehicle, and you will begin touring. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been on a tour of a timeshare where you get forced into that, but yeah, they put you in little golf carts and they take you around. And this is all going to be very much a play on that and making fun of that. But then it turns out things are not all that they seem, and things go wrong, and you have to escape. More on that later. That's my pitch. Brock and Tanner, I don't know what your facial expressions are. I don't know if they're good or bad.
I'm not really sure yet.
I don't either.
I think it's a fun idea.
I just like how wildly philosophically different like mine and Jake's are.
Yeah.
Like, mine's like, let's do a metaphor for fixing the planet, and Jake's all like, let's go to the logical end of capitalism. And
I don't. You say end.
You
that
know
sounds like a
people
new
would if they
beginning.
could.
the logical extension of capitalism were we to
I was going to say,
colonize
honestly, Eric,
the
you're
moon.
making capitalism not sound that bad if that's just the end.
Yeah.
Like, it just ends with that. Like,
I was
Eric
about to
Hand's
comment that I
capitalist.
think this is the most efficient pitch session we've ever had, but then Eric brought up capitalism, as he is wont to do, and we lose all efficiency when that happens.
We haven't hit the 10-minute mark yet. I was waiting for it.
I'm just saying it's bad. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
all right, so moving on to our question and answer portion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to start. Jake,
Hi.
so are you aware theme park rides are supposed to be fun?
Yeah, I think
And are you aware that timeshare presentations are not fun?
Yes, having sat through a couple of them, yes.
Okay, I
am aware of this. I think it's not going to be a full timeshare presentation. I think my idea is that it's very cartoony and very tongue-in-cheek and making fun of the whole process. I was thinking specifically about Sunny Eclipse, the lounge singer at Cosmic Rays in Tomorrowland, and I wanted it to be a very cartoony experience and kind of fit in with that Jetsons style and maybe see some aliens and stuff. And I left out of my ride what the twist was, and maybe that's for the best considering your reactions based on everything I've said so far. I don't know. I think this is a good fit for Tomorrowland.
That was my following question is, what is the twist?
Well, I am open to improvements, but I was thinking that I'm like self-conscious about my idea now. I was excited.
No, it sounds really cool. I was just,
you get up there and you're taking a tour of the facility and you're realizing things aren't as nice as they were. You were like led to believe, and things are kind of fishy and things are going wrong. And it turns out that it is a front for alien space gangsters to try to launder money. And they find out that you find out, and you have to escape from them. And yes, I want them to be like stereotypical, like Bugsy and like kind of gangsters, but like they have fedoras and stuff, but they're aliens like Sunny Eclipse. That was my thought.
Yeah,
I thought it would be fun.
I think that is fun. I think we could maybe, if we vote on this one, try to find
have it not be money laundering.
Yeah, try to find a crime that children can understand.
That's fine. I was having a hard time thinking of things
with the twist until then.
I was having
I know
a
how
hard.
We keep it Disney drugs.
There we go.
I didn't mean drugs, but I didn't know how to do it because the only other things I could think of were too catastrophic, like if the moon was gonna collapse or some shit like that.
No, I love the gangster idea. The gangster idea is funny. It's just the money laundering, I think, is something we could massage into something.
Well, that's what I would need help with. Because I had another idea where the gangsters were going to try to kidnap the humans and possess their bodies so they could infiltrate the Earth, but that seemed way too dark. So that's why I went with money laundering
instead. I think there's got to be a middle ground.
Isn't that Space
Jam? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's Space Jam, yeah.
I have a question for Brock.
Yes.
During your pitch, you're like, I think the design elements are great, which is a cool statement. But how are we including them? Like, what design elements more specifically are you looking to highlight in the ride?
Yeah. Well, first of all of the aesthetic choices, the pirate ships in space, they're, the big sailing vessels. I think that's a really cool world to be involved in. Just the mixture of that pirate nature with the space travel, I think is brilliant. I think the movie has a brilliant score. It's really beautiful. It's sort of like a folksy Irish kind of music. The John Resnick song is fine.
Okay, yeah, then I'm not voting for your pitch. Fuck you. You don't have a chance. You could have just avoided acknowledging its greatness.
I saw you leaning towards
You've lost it now.
I saw you leaning towards the microphone, and I knew you were about to bring it up, so I was just proceeding.
When I watched the movie finally, like several months back, I was like, oh, Tanner's always talking about how great this one song is, and then like it played, and I was like, that couldn't have been it. He's always talking about how great it is, and I had to watch it again, and I was like,
yeah, but have you ever heard it in Polish? It really brings it out.
That sounds better. It also, to me, didn't 100% fit the scene it was in. But
yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing is Jake and I saw this movie for the first time within the last 5 years. So we don't have any of the nostalgia for that song or John Resnick because I still don't 100%. I'm still not 100% sure I know who that is.
It took me out of the movie.
It's the guy from the
it felt like it didn't fit.
Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, it did sound like him. Okay, that makes sense. Either way, but I think the score, the character designs, the ship designs, the planet designs, everything is amazing in it. While I'm watching that movie, it feels like somewhere I want to be. The giant moon spaceport, all those things really, I think, draw the viewer in. And to have that in a ride, in a world where you could actually exist, I think is amazing. I also would like to make this a faster-paced dark ride. A lot of dark rides are kind of slow and plodding, but I don't don't think there's anything wrong with making this a very quick, fast-moving car. So we really get the sense of kinetic energy that the movie has, traveling through space at like breakneck speeds. And I think, escaping from the explosion at the end, I think this could be a really cool ride.
I have another question for Brock.
Yes.
Is it true that one of the reasons you want to bring Treasure Planet to the parks is so you can bring your favorite character that you've been quoted as saying was one of the most attractive Disney characters of all time, the cat commander pirate lady?
Okay.
Anthropomorphic cat.
So a story for the audience at home. One time, Jackie, Abby, Tanner, myself, and a couple other friends, Jackie and Abby, of course, from our Valentine's Day episode, were hanging out, and somehow, I think it was Jackie's idea, we ended up tier ranking the attractiveness of Disney characters. And we were just
like people do.
Like everyone does. And so we were going through, I hadn't seen the movie in a while, and the character Captain Amelia got brought up, and I guess I was really misremembering her. I was like, yeah, no, she's super attractive. And then Tanner showed me a picture, and now I disagree.
No,
but
you quoted it, and that's why you want it in the parks.
But Tanner does not let
some
that
weird
go.
fetish that you have for a ride, and that was your excuse. So I just wanted to bring that to light.
Tanner, the only fetish for a ride I have is the Country Bears Jamboree.
And the Adventurers Club.
And the Adventurers Club.
And Horace Horsegull.
In fact, this is his only non-fetish pitch.
Yeah, this is the only one so far that isn't a fetish.
I do have a question for Eric as well.
Yeah.
So I think that your pitch would be really helpful for discussing the world's problems. I am worried, though, that much like in the real world, we kind of glossed over the part where we fix global warming a little bit.
So, yeah, that's what I was... It's tough. I was thinking, like, as part of the... I don't know how much to lean into the, like, specifically global warming, carbon pollution thing, because I would
Maybe it's left open-ended.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you get to the end of the ride and it's like, it's up to you.
Yeah. And, like, I think, after defeating whatever the monster is, or the monster could be a little more symbolic even, presenting some of the options that we do have, like being able to take carbon out of the air, going down to like wind and like solar power and stuff like that, and putting them as visualizations within the new city that you're riding through is probably what I would be like looking at. So you have like industrial Toontown into potential like a Toontown that is using the potential answers that we have available to us right now. Could be adaptable to as we move forward and find new things that we can do to help save the Earth.
All right, Eric, I have a couple questions for you about your ride. So at first I was going to ask what kind of monster, but it sounds like the way you're describing it, what I really want to know is this going to be a monster original to this property?
Yes.
Okay. Not like a weird variation on one we already know. My second question is, so this is Toontown in the future. Does that mean that the current residents of Toontown are responsible for this catastrophe? Is Goofy dumping toxic waste into the local watershed?
Honestly, yes. Right?
Okay.
Like that's part of the lesson, right? It's not just the bad guys that are like complicit in our current state of emergency. I don't know if it's that specific where it's like Goofy's dumping toxic waste into it, but they are living and existing and helping to create this environment, right? I think the villain of the piece outside of the monster would definitely be the giant company, probably Acme, who is coming in and building the city up.
That's the wrong brand. It would probably be Pete doing something.
Pete, right. Acme is
Looney Tunes.
Warner Brothers. Yeah, Looney Tunes. Probably like Pete coming in with like a giant, his company, that would be the villain. But there is a lesson to be learned that we are all, in fact, complicit in this, right? So, It's real upper if you think about it.
Yeah, I was gonna also ask the question I asked Jake earlier: is are you aware theme park rides are supposed to be fun?
I think yes, I am, and yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm very passionate about the lesson. It would be a cartoony, kinetic ride, and then with a very optimistic ending. Anyways,
cool.
Yeah.
Jake, I have a question real quick.
Sure. I have an answer real quick.
Do you see your golf cart ride vehicle morphing at any point to adapt to the surroundings, or is it just always the golf cart? Or do the gangsters shoot off the hood?
That would be cool if it was coming apart. But one mechanic I did think that would be cool was if we could incorporate some sort of bouncing motion to kind of imply hey, you're on the moon and gravity is lower. I just thought a golf cart as the vehicle is funny to me because it's when you tour those timeshares, they usually drag you around in a golf cart, and having a futuristic one. I really like the idea of this being very much a spoof off of what happens at those things, and I think people would get a kick out of it. But yeah, I really like the idea of the vehicle changing as the ride goes, like you said.
Yeah.
The gangster shooting off the hood was a good example because I didn't know what you meant at first, but yeah, I think that's a really good idea.
Okay, well, no one's asked Tanner a question, and I personally, the reason I haven't asked you a question is because you described the ride so well. It's very fully formed in my mind. But because no one asked you a question, I'm wondering, is there anything else you want to tell us before we move into the voting?
No, because I didn't want to go too deep into the specifics of how things function. I guess the one thing is I'm kind of picturing the hover disc that I talked about being a round, seated in the round in it, and you're kind of rotating around at different times. I want it to spin and be trackless so you get different views as we go in and kind of wobbly and tilty. So it's going to be a more exciting ride in the second half.
Cool.
I can't remember. Tanner, the hover disc are the discs that Syndrome's henchmen have in the first movie?
Similar to those. I wanted it to have kind of a futuristic, this is an upgraded, for a tour
it's the good guy
lab
version.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, those are cool vehicles. Yeah, that'd be neat.
I like it.
Thanks.
And you answered my question, which was the specificity of the ride vehicle. All right, boys.
Okay.
Ready to vote?
Cool. I think so.
Not really. This is hard, but I'm gonna have to be.
It's a toughie.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
It's a tough stir. Any volunteers?
I'll go.
All right. Tanner.
Okay, yeah, all of these ideas really are great. I gave Brock a hard time, but it is actually a super cool idea, the boats. I love Eric's. I think, though, the tone of it fits more in if we want to discuss that, cut out the cartoon, move it to Epcot, very similar to the drop ride that Brock has talked about in our IP-less Tomorrowland ride. And weirdly enough, I gave it a hard time at the beginning. The one that fits to me the tone of Tomorrowland the most, a kind of tongue-in-cheek futuristic commentary on daily life things, is actually Jake's tour of the moon. Okay. So I'm going to go with that one.
All right. Thanks.
Cool. You know what that means, Jake?
Sorry, what, Eric?
I said, I was about to say, you know what that means. You didn't even wait for me to say it.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I knew what it meant. I was reading your mind. We're on the same wavelength, you and I. That being said, I do have to agree with what Tanner said about Eric's. It's a great ride, but it might be better suited for Epcot, which was the same issue of Brock's drop ride last time we talked about Tomorrowland. And then, to me, I really like Tanner's Incredible ride, but I don't know if that says tomorrow to me, because the Incredibles kind of I know they have futuristic technology, but it also has a very retro feel. So for that reason, I'm going to vote for the Treasure Planet idea, which to me is definitely a futuristic setting.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks.
Be back.
I'll make this short. Jake and Tanner kind of summarized exactly how I was feeling. So in that case, yeah, I think Jake's pitch is perfect for like a original recipe Tomorrowland. It's got that fun, well, not original, like the 80s version of Tomorrowland. It's got that fun, tongue-in-cheek kind of vibe. I'm going to vote for Jake's.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got to vote for Jake's too. I like it.
All right,
I
Jakey
appreciate
boy.
the vote. I don't know if I appreciate the disappointment in your voice when you said it.
No. I was just, it's just a lot of thought, right, and a lot of like trying to balance, each idea, give it weight, right?
Yeah. Again, we've been doing good with the ideas lately, boys.
Yeah.
These have all been good, and it was tough. And I would love to see either Eric or Tanner's ideas for sure, just maybe not in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Incredibles don't go in
about
Tomorrowland, like their dance party or that drop
Right.
ride that we said would go in Tomorrowland that Jake created.
We didn't say that going Tomorrowland, did we?
I think
Yeah, I thought so.
there's a version of Tomorrowland that like my ride and Brock's ride fit in. It's just not the one that's currently there.
I think it's Future
the
World.
one-
It's Epcot.
Yeah.
I think that's where.
Again, I'm speaking from a Disneyland-centric perspective where
Oh,
there is
yeah.
no Epcot. In like the late 90s, they were really pushing like the world of tomorrow and like things that we could do to fix it, kind of infusing it with that sort of Epcot energy.
Sure.
And I think that version of Tomorrowland can hold these kinds of things, but not necessarily where they're at right now.
Right.
Cool. Take it away, Jake.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I kind of envision when you're walking down like the main drag of Tomorrowland, you've got like all the attractions on either side. It would be funny to me if one of those looked kind of like a real estate office, and they had like posters on the wall for properties and stuff. Maybe the staff members are a little pushy, like trying to get, like, I don't want them to be like ruining your vacation, but maybe they're like trying too hard to get you on the ride and like they're smiling way too much. I don't know if you guys have ever been roped into one of those timeshare things. It's a pain in the ass. I hate it.
No, we don't make enough money to buy houses and get taken on timeshare.
So
Way to make us feel poor, you dick.
that's not what I meant.
Yeah, nobody sees me walking down the street and is like, that guy has a disposable income.
That guy looks like he can afford a rental property in Florida.
On the moon, Eric.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, but it just seemed to me like a funny thing that like in the Disney cartoon version of Tomorrow with where Sunny Eclipse exists, it just feels like timeshares on the moon would be a thing.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I agree.
And I like the idea. So we go into the office and they're, pushing us on this tour, but really they're not. We're walking through the queue line and we're seeing, like videos and posters. And I think it's the videos where it's like, come and enjoy your stay. You'll spend many an evening at our beautiful spa. And it's just like over the top kind of a thing. So then when you get there, you can see, hey, it's not as good as the videos made it look. And you go through the queue line, and eventually there's a show where you kind of board a shuttle, and I don't know if the room shakes or what, but it makes it feel like you're being transported to the moon. Then the loading dock would be in their welcome center on the moon. You'd get into your little golf carts, and then you'd go out on your tour of the facilities, and you would see, maybe some of the houses that are there for the timeshares, maybe the pool, that kind of stuff. And that's the tour you're supposed to be going on. And then I want something to go wrong, and I was having a hard time with that. I liked the idea of the space gangsters. That seemed funny to me, but I'm not married to it. What are your guys' thoughts?
So I like the space gangsters. I think instead of money laundering, I think maybe an in is they've been squatting at one of these like display timeshare things and have been like plotting throughout, right?
Yeah, they turned it into
Figure out what they're
their
plotting.
their secret base. Yeah,
Yeah, it's their
So it's
secret
like their
base.
headquarters kind of
Yeah.
hideout, I should say.
And part of the things that feel off as you're going through it is like randomly somebody will be wearing like a fedora, or like they'll split off to the side to have a conversation, or flash like a space Tommy gun or whatever the right? Like,
yeah.
And so like your brain is starting to be taught that this is the universe that you're living in.
Right.
What do you guys think they would be planning, though, if they were using that as a safe house?
I think some sort of robbery.
Money laundering.
I think a robbery, like a bank robbery, you could turn that into something funny, like the first international bank or whatever, or first intergalactic bank.
Yeah, something like that.
I think, if it's all right with you, I'd like to take this pace a little slower back to the beginning.
I had some
fine.
ideas
Sorry,
for
I just
the
kind of
queue
regurgitated it all out.
I think would be fun.
Yeah,
because
sorry about that.
As soon as you mentioned this idea, the queue is all I could think of, like how fun that queue would be.
Well, that was the initial idea.
We don't have to go
the
linearly, guys.
It is
Time
our
is a
traditional way.
construct. Break the rules. Rules are made to be broken.
Though. I was very excited. I had an idea for something for the line queue. That might be a little too self-referential, but you know, at the end of Space Mountain, all of those little biomes that you kind of walk by on the side.
Yeah.
I thought it would be kind of funny to do more cartoony versions of those, but they've also all been colonized by this corporation now. So you just see like, even if it's just images of them referenced, but they're just now all like just planted with timeshares.
That would be really funny.
I just like really cheap little houses.
Yeah. Oh, that would be really funny. I love that. Yeah.
Cool.
Here's some other places that we have properties at.
It's the cookie cutter house, so all the houses are exactly the same in the middle of these different. Check out our exotic properties, and I thought
that's kind of just like a fun, self-referential thing to the parks for like nerds to care about.
Right. Yeah, I think that's cool. Another idea I had for the queue line, I don't know if this is something we want to do or not, but sometimes in the queue line is where they'll start sticking subtle hints to things that are going on. Maybe we have a wanted poster for one of the gangsters that's kind of in the background on something, on a bulletin board or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like Eric said, the people like kind of moving the line along have guns. Eric Hand's pro-gun.
You could have like a little news report
and one of the TVs in the background, maybe one of the employees is watching it.
Yeah. The employees was going to be my next thing. Obviously not the cast members, but I would love animatronic robot employees, but like wearing like Hawaiian shirts and having the little headsets. And,
that would be hilarious. They have like the super neatly combed hair, but it's not hair, it's like metal.
It's just cast metal. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I would love, if that were the case, to be able to see in on the one human that works there that's just like buried in work and clearly like dying from like the stress of his job while all of the robots go on around him.
The robots don't understand that he needs a break.
What are you talking about? Keep working. And like they won't let him sleep or eat or anything because they don't understand that that's how that works. You just gotta keep going.
I love the idea. Maybe some of the robots have jobs that like you don't need a robot for. Like maybe the water cooler is a robot. And like as you walk by, he's like, "Would you like a beverage?" And he's like pulling them out of his chest or something stupid. Like, why would you ever need a robot for that?
That's fun. So what that leads into for me was I think it would be fun to have a robot guide, like the real estate agent who's showing you the timeshares is a robot, and then it would be fun because the robot wouldn't react with his pre-recorded bit when there's gangsters. So he just keeps and look at the spacious 4-bedroom. Like,
yeah, if you look to our left, you will see in like the building is on fire around him. Like, I love that. That's hilarious. Okay. Yeah. And maybe he's wearing like one of those red blazers with like the gold name badge on it. You know. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that idea. Okay. So queue line, then the next thing after the queue line would be that pre-show where you kind of get transported to the moon. Did you guys have any thoughts about that? I was thinking kind of like the stretching room in Haunted Mansion, or kind of like in the old Alien Encounter, there was the show where they would set up the transporting thing where the little alien guy would be transported from one side of the room to the
Twilight
other.
Zone Tower of Terror has one of those.
I mean, I'm not
think
sure
it's a good
how
idea.
having a guy hang himself is going to get you to the moon, but I guess if that's what you want, Jake.
Thanks,
Eric's
Tanner.
making a face. Haunted Mansion is what he was referencing, Eric.
That's horrifying.
But yeah, I think a pre-show would be really fun. And it can
So my thought is that would be where you're getting transported.
have stock footage of families enjoying their time in the timeshare.
That would be good.
A charismatic alien host.
I think if there was one or two fake windows that make it look like you're taking off, and then landing on the moon. So while you're in there for 3 to 5 minutes or whatever, it just takes the duration of the time. And then when it reaches the moon, you see the shutters close down, and it's like you hear the voice like, now disembarking, or whatever it would be.
Yeah. So we've arrived at the moon port, which looks like
I was thinking like the Welcome Center
it's exactly
for the hotel.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to dress up like the little event in like a really nice transport, spaceship, and then all of a sudden you're in a golf cart. I think that'd be pretty.
Yeah, I think the Welcome Center should be really nice, and then you go out. They're like, okay, come this way, and you just like go out the back door, and there's a golf cart, and you're like, what?
So the idea of this robot guide throughout the would that just be a projection or an animatronic or something attached to do we not want to do that?
This might be difficult from an engineering point of view, but Blue Sky, I think it would be funny if it was just like the torso of a human robot with arms and a head, and the torso doesn't move, but his head can spin and his arms can gesture to our left, and he's gesturing over to the left.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I think that would
That's
be
crazy.
fun.
No, that's not hard at all. That's similar to what I was picturing.
Yeah, so I just think it'd be funny to have this torso in front of you, facing backwards, so he's facing you the whole time.
So he's
with
attached
his
to
big
the car.
fake smile. Yeah, he's part of the car.
Perfect.
Almost in the dashboard of the car.
Perfect.
Humanoid. That's the word I was looking for.
I think that's a lot of fun. So we're going to go through. Then we go through the timeshares, correct?
Yes.
How long?
So then we begin the tour of the facility.
How long into that do we discover the gangsters?
So the timeshare experience I had was we got in the golf cart, we went over, we looked at the pool and everything, we drove over, looked at the beach, then we went in and looked at one of the rooms, then we drove back to the Welcome Center, and then that's when they were like, we're going to do everything it takes to convince you to buy. Mm-hmm. And Jessica just had to keep being like, no. And then finally we just left.
Jessica's good at that.
But so
I would not be.
So that just kind of gives you an idea of, what happens. So if we could see a pool, see some other sort of attraction, see a room, and then shit starts to go wrong. Because if shit goes wrong too soon, then we can't establish the tour thing. So, yeah.
A couple things. I was just thinking about why these would be empty. I think it would be fun if in our pre-show, as we're going through the travel agency, there's a bunch of signs with discount 10%, and then on top of that a sticker that says discount 50%.
So
discount
actually
70%.
This can harken back to my experience with the timeshare was a lot of them were empty, and they kept telling us that they were still building it, and then they would mention some really cool feature and be like, but we haven't built it yet, but it'll be awesome in 2 years when we build it. And that just kept happening the whole time. So it could be something like that. And then that was the sell too. It was and once we build it, you won't be able to get one of these because people are going to be coming from all over to try to get one. So you want to get in on the ground floor. That was kind of the vibe. That was the way they were pushing it. So it could be kind of like that.
It would be fun to just see how many times we could get a robot to say, get it on the ground floor.
Get it on the ground floor, yeah.
Ooh, also, yeah, Eric.
I was just thinking, it's a very obvious inserted bit, he's going on, and here's the green flowers, and get in on the ground floor.
Yeah, in a different voice.
And it's always that one monotone timbre, get in on the ground floor.
Welcome to the
And that's how
beautiful
you know
kitchen
something's
on the-
gone awry, because it's like, get in on the ground.
Yeah,
It's like,
maybe see like sparks.
it's like alien mobsters.
Shoot this
Get it.
robot that we love in the head.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if we do see a pool, it would be fun to have kind of like a screen effect where you see someone trying to do a cannonball and they just hang in the air for like just like they just fall so slowly into the pool. Maybe that's in the stock footage presentation at the beginning, but
Yeah,
it's just a very funny gag
that would
to
be
me.
very funny. Yeah, or like I would like to see like maybe I don't know if we see it, but maybe one of the stock footage things could be people playing golf on the moon
I was just about to say that.
in low gravity. Just like, yeah, I think that'd be fun. So we go on our tour. We see some of the facilities. I don't know how detailed we have to get into that.
What are you imagining the carpet looking like, Jake?
Purple with yellow stars.
Yeah,
Can I change my vote?
So shit hits the fan. What happens?
I think we get into the next property. I think we go through like one of them, and then they're like, "Come see our deluxe model." And as we get in, the space gangsters are there. One of them notices us, and then that's when, "Hey, how'd you get in here? This is our turf. See?"
Yeah. They're hiding out on the moon while they're waiting for the heist to blow over, the heat to get off of them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Bugsy,
And then one
get over
shoots
here.
the robot in the head, and the
What did you say,
animatronics goes.
So what are they trying to steal? Is like the timeshare built on something incredibly valuable that the timeshare people don't know about? Are they like unobtainium?
What if it was something like an armored transport from the intergalactic bank was going to be going by near there or something?
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
So they're planning to hit the armored car.
I think it'd be nice if we could somehow connect that to the timeshare, though.
Well,
Okay.
I've heard kind of
Payroll?
two
Maybe
different
they're gonna knock
ideas
over the payroll
going
car.
because people have said laying low until the heat dies down from a heist at different times, and
Yeah.
so
That might-
to me feels like enough. And then the second half isn't so
Yeah,
much
'cause-
stopping them; it's running away from them
Right,
because
'cause
they're not
if
happy
they're-
you busted them.
I like
If they're
that.
laying low, that could work because then in the queue line we could be seeing news footage of they robbed a bank or something and they're on the
Right.
loose. Be on the lookout for them.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that
that's
works.
good.
Because then you can just
okay,
have
cool.
one go,
Super cute.
"Get them, boys," and then,
Yeah.
but your cart doesn't go fast.
It would be fun because this is kind of a low rent operation. If while they're trying to show you the presentation, like they have to keep changing the input on the TV to like figure out where the
That would be
presentation
funny.
is, and we keep seeing these little snippets of the news.
Yeah, that's a
So that
great
way
idea.
everyone
Like
sees
whoever's
it.
doing that would be maybe an actor at the beginning, as
Yeah.
opposed to an animatronic, and then they're kind of like you see they have the remote in their hand.
Yeah.
I also love the idea that even in the world of tomorrow, people still are having problems with their fucking TV input.
Yes.
Classic.
Cool.
Also, none of this is an allegory on how humans are the root cause of our own destruction, and I'm not necessarily on board with that.
There's robbers in a timeshare, Eric. That feels like
Yeah,
the
but they're
root.
aliens.
Timeshare on the moon.
If anything, that's like,
Sorry.
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
I
fine.
mean, there was kind of a commentary that I pitched in the queue line where we're kind of destroying all of these biomes
that's
with
true.
Yeah.
these generic housing. So I feel like that's a subtle way to make commentary on that. I thought you'd like
like
that
it.
the most.
I did. I liked it a lot. I just,
Want more?
yeah, I wanted it in my face. I want to breathe it in.
And one of the mobsters
suck.
is named Globe Al Warming.
Okay, so speaking of the mobsters, what is our interaction with them? What beats do we want to hit?
I think that they are surprised to see us. They are upset. They start shooting at us. There could be more leading up to that. Leading in this chase through the facility that I think it'd be fun if it like kind of destroyed the facility. Them shooting at us, maybe as we're driving away, we're knocking over plants, or we're just driving through and we just totally wreck the place. And then we get away just in the nick of time. Maybe we see the space police show up and arrest them. I don't know, but we end up getting away and going back to Earth.
I would love it if they accidentally set fire to one of the timeshares as we're driving past it, and the robot is like, and on our right is our deluxe model, as it's like just burning to,
I definitely want fire somehow, because I think that would be exciting and fun, and I definitely want the robot to be continuing to try to give the tour the whole time. I think that's hilarious.
It would be fun if we see within the hideout with the gangsters a giant pile of some sort of silly looking space currency as well.
Yeah.
Bitcoin?
Jake loved that joke.
Jake was really into that.
Jake really upped for the no sell that I got from the other two members of the podcast.
I thought that was even feel bad about timed, it Tanner.
Because Jake
that
laughed
was
so hard.
It was pretty funny. It was
a good joke.
We're leaving in the whole length of Jake's laughter too in the final cut.
And I would love as we leave the exit queue is like one of those robots trying to give us the hard sell.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that would be funny. And you can see like footage of it burning in the background.
Yeah.
He's like, please.
Like it's the window behind him. Like we're just looking out at that. And we can also see footage of like the space cops in the window behind him. And
and maybe we see a news footage of the gangsters have been captured because, you don't want some little kid to be going back to his vacation and thinking that the space gangsters are still on the loose.
Maybe you don't.
I mean, I always do. I always want children to be in fear. I think I've made that clear.
No Disney visit is complete without fear. Okay, so do you guys think that's the ride? Yeah. Anything else?
I think so. I mean, we could always go into more detail, but based on how long we've been talking here, I think that's a pretty good summary of what we're thinking.
Let's do a quick little recap. So it's a real estate office. We see a fun video presentation that gives us some news clips as well as some funny gags about the timeshare.
We've got funny robots in the office and other employees in the office.
As we watch this presentation, we are also being taken to the moon. We arrive at a wonderful spaceport on the moon, get on our little golf cart vehicles with our android robot companion who's giving the tour. We go through a couple of the amenities, see a timeshare, and then when we get to the second timeshare, we encounter space mobsters. They give chase, we're trying to run away from them. Eventually, that kind of destroys the timeshare property, and as we exit, the space cops are getting them. We exit through a fun little timeshare presentation again, and presumably then into a gift shop.
Of course. Always.
Presumably, yes.
Sounds like a fun ride to me.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. Yeah, I'm a fan for sure. So on that note, I guess let's dive into the lightning round.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, let's spin that wheel. Okay. We are going to retheme Pirates of the Caribbean to be all about the Three Caballeros. Go ahead, Brock. This is your time to shine.
Yeah. Okay, so let's spin. Jake.
Oh, shit. I am not. Okay.
This is going to suck. for all of us.
Okay. All right, so on my ride, we are going to retheme the boats to look like the flying Sarapa rug blanket that they fly on in the movie, and we're going to be flying around looking at Mexico and how great it is, all while the song is playing, and Brock is mouthing something to me and distracting me. But yeah, that's my ride. Three Caballeros, the blanket flying over the place. I don't remember.
Cool.
No, I was not mouthing to you. I was just questioning the logic of flying in what is currently a boat ride.
Boat ride, Three Caballeros. I'm up next. I've never seen Three Caballeros. So here we go. Let's give it a go. So we're rafting down the Rio Grande with our friends, the Three Caballeros.
Okay.
There's bandits shooting at us. There's natives shooting at us. There's all kinds of shit. I regret everything. I'm done.
Did not expect that from
like
you,
it.
Eric.
It's better than mine. I panicked.
I didn't feel good about it, Tanner. Okay.
Who next?
Tanner.
All right, so the Three Caballeros are on tour, and on this ride, we will see them performing as a band, and then the majority of our ride will be all of the chaos they cause around the city. We will keep the city burning in a scene where Donald Duck has accidentally caused a fire by partying too hard. Every scene will be chaos, and at the end, we will actually see all three of them celebrating on the big pile of gold that will still be there because they made a ton of money on their tour.
Nice. And you can still keep the animatronics going in the circle where the pirate is chasing the woman because Donald actually does that in the beach scene. So there you go.
Perfect.
You can have Donald chasing bikini babes.
I did forget about that.
It.
Sounds pretty good to me.
Brock.
Yeah, Brock.
All right. So my ride is going to take the Three Caballeros. They're on a vacation. They are enjoying their time in the sun. But unfortunately, their little friend, the Aracuan bird, shows up. I don't know if you remember him, but he's that. Yeah, he's the little bird that makes a lot of chaos. So the chaos kind of drives things insane. So the bird kind of wrecks their vacation. They're trying to catch him. We see our friends Carmen Miranda and the Flying Guachito, and all the other characters from the sketches within the show.
Full disclosure, Brock, how much of that did you look up? Or was that all from memory?
I remembered all the characters. I couldn't remember all of their names.
Nice.
So
Also, the penguin would be fun.
My favorite part of that movie when I was little was always the train part, but I couldn't figure out how to work that in, and then I got fixated on the blanket and got stuck, and I couldn't figure out how to get out of it.
All right, so that was our lightning round on a property none of us have seen in 10 years at least.
That's cute that you think I've seen it.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I was straight up. I never once in my life.
All right, Brock, take us out of here.
All right, come visit our timeshare. See our beautiful amenities, like our Facebook, Jake.
Facebook.com/Main Street Musings. You can sign right here.
Take a luxury little bit of a swim in our hot tub and beautiful Olympic-sized Instagram, Tanner.
Main_street_musings. Dive right in.
The property boasts beautiful palm trees, lovely white beaches, and also a Twitter, Eric.
At MSM_podcast.
And I'm Brock, and I remembered to say Twitter. Everyone, give us a 5-star review, because we're out of this world. Tell your friends, give us a nice rating, and review us goodbye.
That's right. Rate us now. Get in on the ground floor. Rate us now.
Also, don't forget to vote on our Twitter polls.
Oh, yeah. Forgot
for
about
our
that.
lightning rounds.
Yeah, those.
Those things. I don't know if this is a great one for them to be voting on.